But I mean, Corey is no slouch. He pulls chicks. I mean, even right now, as he's recording this interview, his current girlfriend isn't even born yet. She's not even going to be born for a few years. And his second wife is about 1 year old. We should finish up that Sally Jessy appearance.
We're going to meet the actor who Corey says saved his life. Hear about Corey's love life, too. Don't go away.
You can see that he's still kind of steaming at his sister for talking about how great of a liar he is. Yeah, no, he's not happy that she's there. If it was up to him, she wouldn't be a part of it. Yeah, no, he's not happy with her. She even saw it out of the corner of her eye. Now she can't look at him. My sister's a bitch, huh? Can you believe it? Can you believe my sister's a bitch?
She's a liar, not me. Everyone else is a liar.
Gail's daughter is so vain, she gave herself whiplash tossing back her hair.
3 weeks she was in a neck brace, Sally.
But Deborah Gibson will help moms who say, my teenage daughter is so conceited.
You know what? There were a lot of these that I cut out, but I was like, this one's too good. I gotta leave this in. Wait, not to be the pause guys, but what the fuck was that?
Well, she was like jamming them. What? Do it right into the mic.
Talking today to Corey Feldman, who is addicted to cocaine and heroin.
Sorry, it's doing cocaine and heroin.
We're going to skip to the end of the story, although a lot happened in between. He was arrested 3 times and has been in a rehab program, and he's sharing his story for the first time with our audience, which is made up, for the most part, of recovering teenage addicts and some of their parents.
Oh, he doesn't like that. He's like, oh no, they're going to see through me. Oh my God. Not my peers, not my ilk.
No, Corey, I'm the greatest liar that's ever lived.
Corey, I've heard that being around people who have been through what you've been through makes it easier. Is that true?
This is very true, and I'm really grateful that the audience here is recovering alcoholics and addicts. First of all, because I'm always, yeah, give yourselves an applause. Because it's not only great for me to be able to relate with them and know that they know what I'm talking about, but it's so nice because right away I feel like when I'm in a room with so many people that are on the same spiritual plane as me,
feel the energy.
You can feel it, you know what I mean? You feel like you're okay.
We want you to meet Brian James. Now, you probably recognize...
Yeah, remember this guy? What movies was he? Oh, they're probably about to say what movies
this guy,
he's in.
He was... I know him.
I see him from 48 Hours, or one of, I think he's made 50 movies and done 100 television credits. He always looks different. He's usually the villain.
Distinctly, this guy's in some movie.
Oh, here he... Okay, yeah, he died in 1999.
Overdosed.
Right. Oh, he's in Tango and Cash. That's, I think, what I was thinking of. Died in 1999 for suffering a heart attack at his home in Malibu. He appeared in 8 feature films that were released after his death. It is funny to be the guy that's like... Because not only do you already kind of look like a villain, but you play enough villains in TV where even if people, like, they just kind of know, like, they don't know your name, but, like, I recognize his face, you're already, oh, this is a bad guy. I don't believe anything he says. Even if he did go sober, like, he stayed sober until the day he died, I'm like, this guy's a villain. Don't listen to him.
Talk to somebody that I can do the steps with and get through all that. I would always look for somebody that I could manipulate.
Blade Runner.
So I was with my last sponsor.
Yeah, is he in Blade Runner? Actually, hold on. Let's take that back. So he's talking about how he usually just manipulates everyone. This is classic Corey. This is the stuff that he wouldn't admit now, but he'd freely just give out in interviews back in the 90s.
So I was with my last sponsor who I had manipulated greatly, and I'd gotten kicked out of Cry Help for that reason. And then I saw Brian. Now, here's this huge, towering 6'5" guy, and I said, I'm not going to be able to manipulate this one. And it wasn't me that asked him to sponsor me because I would have never done that.
No, you wanted a patsy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And something spoke through me that said, you've got to ask this guy. And I did. Will you sponsor me? and he goes, yeah, you got 3 things you got to do. And I went, oh, this is going to be fun. And the guy saved my life. I mean, he is the softest, warmest, most wonderful person. He's there for me 24 hours a day, no matter what. And that's what I needed, and that's what I still need. And that's this
Brian,
guy.
people often wonder if were you using heavily for 25 years?
Off and on.
Often.
I mean, from alcohol to drugs to cocaine to heroin to all of the above.
Pac-Man fever.
And there were heavy periods of using, and then periods were not as heavy. But yeah,
making 50 movies, movies are very hard work.
they are.
How does a guy act full time for a living, and is
How do
still?
you do act full
Well,
time?
I came from
I mean, not to take anything away from acting, but like at least again, I'm an outsider, so this might not be true. But from my understanding, you like sit in your trailer for hours and then you come out and have to act.
Yeah,
So
you drink and fucking do coke.
Yeah, you just do some downers for hours, and then they're like, "We're gonna need you on set in 10. Blast some fucking coke."
Yeah. Okay. I see a turtle in the desert. Do I flip it over? And yeah, going back to Pac-Man fever. Imagine doing cocaine and Pac-Man comes out. That's a fucking game changer. Dude.
Yeah, that was a precursor for like the Warcraft days. That was setting everyone up. That was like a small preview.
Doing coke, playing Warcraft. I'm grinding. I'm fucking grinding for hours.
That's got to be a thing, right?
Someone
hop on an MMO, start grinding and doing blasting lines the whole time.
It's just so funny to think. Yeah, Warcraft's a really good line blasting game.
Yeah, I'm hopping on fucking. It's not like an MMO, but what's that other one everyone plays or they used to play? Like Jump Divers or something like that.
Hell Divers. I'm on Hell Divers. Yoinked out of my skull.
Yeah, blasting some lines and hopping on with the squad and in Helldivers.
Yeah, I'm on Minecraft fucking Yurkin chicken jockeys.
For 25 years, was your private life hell?
Yes.
You were making
indeed.
movies
Truly.
and stealing cars or stealing car radios?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
You're a movie actor by day, car radio stealer by night?
Yeah.
Man, that's psychotic.
Yes, absolutely. Schizophrenic behavior. What happens is when you use alcohol and drugs, it takes you into a life of stealing and lying and crime and away from your family and your friends.
It would be amazing to like come out of the theater, like you just saw Blade Runner or whatever, and you come out and the guy from the movie stealing your car stereo. You're like, this rocks, actually. This
is
rules.
like fucking Tears in the Rain.
And there was a period of my life where I was a booster. Some of you may know what that is.
A booster?
A booster is a blatant stealer. A black man and myself were a salt and pepper team, we were called. And I lived in Southwest L.A., and I would go out and steal out of department stores, cars, anything I could get to get my fix. And then I had an answering service, and I called in to see if I had any auditions for film.
What was the importance of the black
What was the
man?
moment?
We were a salt and pepper team. It was a black guy I knew. And,
He hung out with me. He got drugs, and I stole stuff.
I
to give
stole
him money.
stuff, and he went to jail. The old black and pepper.
The old
con.
salt and pepper team.
That salt and pepper con's great.
Yeah, it's like in Ocean's 11 when Brad Pitt goes up to Clooney. He's like, "We're gonna need 4 salt and pepper teams, and then we'll keep the rest of the money."
That's a genius move, because who are they going to believe is stealing car stereos?
Yeah, who? Me, the actor, or this black man who happens to be next to me?
Or was there a moment?
There was a moment. I finished a film called Enemy Mine back in 1985, and within a month,
Wait, is that the one when they're on the alien planet, like the human and the alien?
Yeah, they have to work together. Was he the alien?
No way. Was it? No, because that was like Louis Gossett Jr. or something, wasn't it?
Oh, is
yeah,
that the pepper?
No, it was. Who did he play? Enemy Mine. When I was a kid, it was always on cable.
spent $40,000 on drugs. My addiction was up to $5,000 a week, shooting heroin and cocaine. I was on the street. I was ripping off car radios in Venice. I was in the back of a VW bus, and I was so helpless and sick and tired of. I was bankrupt, and spiritually, financially, physically, morally, every area of my life.
It's so wild to listen to this guy, and even though it was last week, but when we listen to Corey telling his stories, not that Corey didn't do drugs at all, but his stories are all outlandish, like 20 balloons a day, gun to my head every night, and you just immediately don't believe him. He's unlikable. You don't root for him.
Yeah.
This dude, it sounds like he's been through some real shit, and he's come out on the other side trying to be a better person.
Yeah.
And again, maybe it's just my bias against Corey, but I feel like just on the surface, you can immediately get that from the way he's talking, and it all sounds real and legit. It doesn't sound like some fucking tale that he's spinning.
Well, yeah, he's not like saying I did 5 bricks of cocaine and then tried to cut my stomach out.
Yeah.
And I just had it. I surrendered. I said the 4 easy words: God, I need help. 2 years ago, I was doing publicity for another 48 Hours, and Corey and I were on the same show. He came on and said he was sober. I saw this guy, and I went, I don't buy it.
Did you tell the people who were watching the talk show, I didn't buy it? Or did you backstage go, I didn't buy it?
Well, to myself, I said I didn't buy it, and I went out, and I wasn't on the show to talk about recovery. And
It is funny because it does feel like Sally Jessy keeps leading into being like, we know Corey's a liar, right? Are we going to talk about it on the show, or are we going to keep dancing around the facts of what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, he has 22 balloons on his shirt right now.
asked me, they said, we understand you're also recovering. And at the time, I said, well, it's great that anybody can come forward and talk about that. But what happened with Corey and I, because of that incident, because he wasn't, is we made a deal when I sponsored him that wait till you have a year. Get a year under your belt, then go public. Because until you kind of get a little owning of your sobriety after a year, then go out and let people know, because then you put some time in.
I didn't get to the love life.
This is a man who is so upset that they're not talking to him or about him, or telling stories of the times that they were with him or how they would like to be more with him. Well, he's so upset.
And imagine that as you're coming down from the coke you did backstage.
Yeah. You're like, shit.
When is this over? So I can do coke.
When's the next break already?
Did you have an affair with Drew Barrymore? One should always ask a question.
Yeah,
because we saw in that movie that
it was right. It was right after. That wasn't Drew they showed anyway. That was
no, yeah.
But it was right after that movie. We went out for a couple months, and I mean, it wasn't like a heavy thing, and we weren't using drugs together. Any good gossip like that. So.
But you were both using drugs.
Well, she was going to meetings when I was going out with her.
Oh,
when she did that movie, she was actually clean.
Oh, okay.
And she was doing meetings and stuff, and she would come over to my house and she would see me smoking pot, and she'd be like, you really shouldn't do that. And I'd drop her off at meetings and go, yeah, you have fun.
That kind of rules.
Yeah,
whatever, toots.
Yeah, okay. He was basically his character in Hooking Up, kind of. She's like, oh, but Corey, I love you so much. You shouldn't smoke weed. Yeah, whatever, babe.
Have fun at rehab.
Yeah.
I'm stoned. Corey on weed probably rules.
Now, talk to me about Vanessa.
Oh, okay. Well, we were married for 3 years. We went to Vegas and
Vanessa who?
Her name was Vanessa Marcel.
Right.
And we went to Vegas. And
now, this is his first wife, and she ended up being famous. I mean, she was in the movie The Rock. She was on that TV show Las Vegas. Huh. I mean, she's like a hot model chick. But from what I've read about this marriage, I think she was like 18 or something. And at least from what she's mentioned is like, yeah, they technically got married, but then it was like she just kind of went back to her house, and they just didn't do the paperwork to end it till like a few years later or whatever. But I mean, Corey is no slouch. He pulls chicks. I mean, even right now, as he's recording this interview, his current girlfriend isn't even born yet. She's not even going to be born for a few years. And his second wife is about 1 year old.
Yeah, now he's dating a heroin balloon.
And we kept it really secretive. We didn't tell anybody about it. And
she did not.
Now we're separated.
Sally's such a bad host. She
That's
interrupts with weird shit, but
Yes.
then he'll do that and just sit there.
Yeah, do you think, I mean, I guess it's not the same as it is now. Like with like late night talk shows, everything's already like rehearsed or they've discussed what the stories are. Was she leading that to something? Where did she hope to get from that? Because I don't even know if at this time Vanessa Marcel's like famous or anything to even bring that up.
Brian likes it.
So much for his love life. Corey is helping someone. Brian is helping him stay sober. And he's sitting next to you. Will you tell me a bit about Mark?
Well, you know,
This guy is
Yeah.
fucking loaded.
I forgot about this. Corey is this guy's sponsor.
Look at the dark bags under his eyes. He's all disheveled.
It is so funny because you got like the seasoned vet guy, the guy that's from Blade Runner that feels like, yeah, he's seen some shit and he's like on the right path. Then you got Corey is just a complete liar.
Yeah.
And then this is the guy that Corey is supposed to be guiding to sobriety.
Yeah, it was like modern day. These are the two rambling Facebook post guys that are like, it's so great being sober. 8 paragraphs about how blessed they are and how they would do anything for their friends or whatever.
A lot of people. I mean, that's really that's what my life's about today. Is I like to go to recovery houses, I like to go to hospitals, I like to speak, and I also like to take guys out. I have my own meeting that I run. And I pick up guys, and I also like to help people in the entertainment business because they can relate with me. So I help out, you know, other actors or musicians who are in hospitals. I get them out of there. Adam Rich actually is one that I'm doing some work with, and he told me about you.
Yes, give
It's so funny because this is almost like a precursor to all the runaways he would pick up for Corey's Angels. Except back then he was building a band, apparently. He was just going to rehab to find members to be in the truth movement, I guess.
Anyway, with Mark, Mark's a guy that was a friend. He's brothers to a friend of mine. A guy that's a good friend of mine. It's his little brother. And, you know, he would tell me, well, I'm trying to help him out. He's having problems. He's been trying to get sober for 4 years. And I said, well, okay. And I told him to come to my house. Now, when he came to my first meeting, he made some really tacky, off-the-wall remark. Something about a girl that was sitting in the corner. She was the only girl there, and he said something really rude to her.
Oh, my God. What do you think he said? What did he say?
Oh, hey, Toots.
Who's this coos?
Yeah.
But it's really Corey that said it. Yeah. Man, Mark, why would you say that? And everyone's like, no, dude, you said it.
And embarrassed her. And I said, I got to work with this guy. So I got...
Oh, wait, no. Yeah. Oh, all right. I didn't even realize where that story was going. Yeah, no, the story was going, oh, man, yeah, this guy, he said some really disgusting thing about the one girl in the room. And I was like, this guy rules. We smashed high fives and did blow all night long. It rocked.
She was the only girl there, and he said something really rude to her and embarrassed her. And I said, I got to work with this guy. So I got him, and I pulled him aside, and I said,
does he not realize, or is that just the 90s, dude?
Well, like, unless he's about to say, hey, don't say that to him.
Yeah. Well, okay, because I can't tell, does he think that's great? And the crowd's like, that is great? Or did he completely misread and he's like, oh my God, everyone was supposed to laugh at that. That was kind of supposed to be a goof.
Now they're all raising their fists and going, nah.
The sponsor, he said no, and I said, well, then, you know, I want to help you. And ever since then, I've seen him change from this crazy, neurotic kid who didn't want to do anything to a really wonderful guy who does the same thing and helps other people.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. That was a heck of an introduction there. It's really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, no, this guy's zooted, dude. He's all fucked up. Good for him.
Way to make me look terrible, Corey. Appreciate it.
What did you think of him when you first met him?
When I first met Corey? I've heard about him through my brother, and I've been trying on and off to get sober for the past 4 years. And I would, you know, go in for 2 months, and then I'd go back out, and then I'd get sober for 2 weeks and go back out. It's called slipping, which means sobriety losing its priority. That's what SLIP stands for. And I was practicing that for 4 years.
It is kind of weird to me that, I mean, whatever works. I'm not really criticizing it. But it is weird to me that, like, even, you know, 12-step programs or rehabs, it's essentially like working retail. Like, you have to memorize these acronyms and kind of, like, work the program or whatever it might be. I guess,
no,
again, yeah. I mean, again, whatever helps. I'm not really saying it's a bad thing, but it's just funny because it's the same shit they tell you, like, again, you're working retail and it's like, make sure you do this. Make sure you hit them with a fall. Like, first, always leave them laughing, you know.
Always be doing coke. A, B, decent.
Joining us now is Jerry Scarano, who is a therapist who specializes in adolescent addictions. He is also the executive director of the Seafield Pines Hospital in New Hampshire. Question that I have left over from the first segment. Why this generation, not the 4,000 ones that went before? I mean,
I do love, because Sally kept bringing that up to Corey as well. Like, when Corey was talking about stuffing his pain or, like, sleeping with a gun, she was trying to make it seem like, well, what would you say to older people that would be like, you know, what's the difference with you? Why is this generation so puss?
So pussy.
But like the way she's bringing it up now, you can understand, like, no, she's actually saying what she thinks about this. She's saying like, come on, you pussy, stop doing drugs. What's wrong with you? Stop being so weak.
Yeah. Why don't you just try interrupting people?
Yeah, just interrupt them and shut them up.
What are they putting up with that they didn't have to put up with?
I think we just didn't know about it.
Didn't know about it.
There were cases. Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland.
Yeah, but
heard about
not in the numbers.
My story, I'm straight 16 months also tomorrow. And my story is pretty much the same as Corey's, almost word for word, except for a few incidents minus the fame and fortune.
This guy rocks.
Yeah, where are these guys now?
Yes.
We used to have these guys in every movie, everything. Is like, yo, I'm a guy. I'm an American, huh?
This guy rules. And yeah, I was trying to put my finger on why I thought he rules, and I think you're right. We don't see enough of these guys anymore.
Yeah, well, and this guy's probably 19. It's just like, yo, I just graduated high school, and I think, like, maybe we're just bottling up our feelings, you know?
All average, everyday kids have the same problems. I mean, I started at 11 years old, and this is the first time I've been straight this amount of time since that time. And I wasn't in show business. It's the same thing for everybody, not just the rich and famous.
I think also you're seeing it more prevalent in societies that we are multi-generational dysfunctional from the family life, that there's abuse in families that's been going on, and it's surfacing more as it does in every alcoholic and addict.
Corey, I really commend you for everything that you've went through so far. We all have
the
our own
lady version of
problems,
that
and we
guy.
all deal with it. But how do you feel like you're going to succeed for the rest of your life in this?
What's going to keep it green, as they say in the business?
To remember that this has nothing to do with me, and it's all about God. To me,
yeah, Corey's fucking over all of this, dude. He's done. You know what's great, too, is if you watch his attitude throughout the episode, he gets more and more upset as more people are involved.
Yeah.
Because it's not like when it was just him talking to Sally, he's like, this is great. We're talking about me. Everyone's focused on me.
I'm lying. I'm making up shit. I'm still high.
Now we got like 4 people on stage. We got motherfuckers in the crowd that are taking part in it. Just focus on Corey already.
my life today is about letting God use me as a channel to speak through. And as long as I keep my ego out of it, then my career will be fine because it will be exactly how he wants it to be to use me.
He was
I would like to ask Corey a question. I would like to know
what's wrong with my head?
Interfere with your business career?
You know, I did a pretty good job, like Brian did, of keeping my business career together. I mean, but I was going up and showing up on the set on drugs, you know. It didn't really matter to me. I would just get...
But a lot of the money went that way.
Yeah. I
Take
mean,
a
I was
break.
broke
Right
as a
back.
result of it.
She wants to know if you're broke. Yeah.
What the hell is Sally doing, dude?
She's so bad, dude. She interrupts and then
This
she just
show
says,
it's drivel, dude.
Well,
I do love when she interrupts Corey.
She wants to know if you're broke.
Just yells.
We would like to thank all our guests for appearing today. And Corey Feldman has 2 movies coming up, Meatballs 4
Oof.
and Round Trip to Heaven, all to be released this spring.
Round Trip to Heaven. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, what was that one? Let's look it up real quick.
That's so funny. He's got coming up Meatballs 4, where he was definitely sober and great in it.
It's time to look at Corey's Twitter.
Corey's Twitter is always a great adventure. He made a post about his grandfather. It's funny because we were asking what war he was referring to in our Sally Jessy commentary. And he does bring up that his dad or his grandfather was in World War II fighting Nazis. And someone responded and says, like, here's to all the grandfathers that served and their sacrifices. May they never be forgotten. Mine never talked about his service, and he passed when I was really young, so I know very little. And then Corey responds is, mine talked about it constantly.
It was awesome.
Mine talked about it constantly. He told so many war stories. He loved it. He would light up as he talked about killing Nazis with his bare hands. He was severely traumatized and never dealt with it. Now, I couldn't tell if he was like goofing at first or he's like, he killed Nazis with his bare hands, but seriously, he had problems and it never got fixed.
That's great. Usually, like, people are like, yeah, I loved killing Nazis with my bare hands. He's like, what we did was wrong. They were just kids.
This past week was the big 2-2 day. So another baffling tweet, because he always tries to make these announcements on 2-2 day, which was April 22nd. Happy 2-2 day. Happy triple 2-2 4-22 day. So now what does that mean? I know we try to work out the numbers all the time. Is the triple twos because it's April 22nd, but then 2025?
Well, so it'd be 6 2s. So yeah, 2,
unless
2,
he just means
add the 2-2 and then 2-2.
He must mean, like, I guess here in the States, the way we write it out is 4-2-2-2-5.
Mm-hmm.
So that means like every 22 though is triple 2 day for this whole decade.
But triple 2-2 day would be 6 2s.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. So then, but happy
so
triple 2-2. Happy 2-2 day. Happy triple 2-2 4-22 day. And this year has another 2-2. I don't another 2-2, aka hashtag Goonies 40th. So my big surprise that I'll be there in Astoria on hashtag Goonies Day 6/7. And I may even be involved in this whole OG hashtag Goonie House renovation somehow. See you all there. Hashtag never say die.
Okay, so wait,
he's there in June. If you're gonna go there just to get your photo taken with him or get something signed anyways, you might as well propose to him for Jim and them. But yeah, so he's gonna be at the Goonies house on, I don't even know why Goonies Day is June 7th, but he's gonna be there in celebration of triple 2-2 4-2-2 day. This year's another 2-2, aka the Goonies 40th. Although that's not even a 2. Well, I guess, is he saying 220s makes 40?
Wait, okay, one more time. 2-2. Where's he saying
now,
this?
I know we keep rereading this, but yes, try to unpack it. Let me start from the beginning. So this was on April 22nd. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Happy 2-2 day.
That makes sense. April 22nd. Clean, cut, dry.
Happy triple 2-2 4-22 day.
3. Okay, happy.
So he goes back to 4-2-2, but then there's a triple 2-2. And then he also, and this year is another 2-2, aka Goonies 40th.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any deciphering it. And no one calls him on this shit.
Jim and them gon' testify. Jim and them forever, baby. Bye.